Hello children, welcome to Google Classroom of Sri Gokulam Public School, Guruvayur. I am Subida, your biology teacher. Class 9th NCERT Science textbook deals with three important branches of science: physics, chemistry and biology. Out of 15 lessons, 6 are from biology. First unit, the fundamental unit of life. Second one, tissue. Third one, diversity in living organism. Fourth one, improvement in food resources. Fifth one, why do we fall ill? And the last one, natural resources. In the month of June, we will discuss the first lesson, the fundamental unit of life. Children, which is the fundamental unit of life? Yes, cell. I know you are very much familiar about the topic. Cell in class 8 you studied about the topic well. But in class 9 we have to discuss in detail about cell organelles, their function and difference between plant cell, animal cell, etc. So I am decided to divide the first unit cell into 4 sessions. In first session we will discuss about contributions of different scientists and difference between unicellular, multicellular organisms, difference between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. In second and third session, we will discuss in detail about cell organelles and their function. In the last session, we will differentiate a plant cell with an animal cell. Okay, children? So we have to find happiness in all critical situations. Then only we can lead a successful life. I know this e-learning will contain a lot of limitations, right? But by using available resources, we can make it a successful one. Children, let's stay together. Let's study together. We shall overcome. So, the first lesson is the fundamental unit of life. So, we can start with the contributions from different scientists. We know that cells were first discovered by Robert Hooke in 1665. He observed the cells in a cork slice with the help of a primitive microscope. So, this is considered to be the microscope used by Robert Hooke, and he observed a dead cell. That means he observed a wooden piece of cork through his microscope, and he got a view like this. In 1674, Leeuwenhoek with the improved microscope discovered the free-living cells in pond water for the first time. We know that Robert Hooke observed a dead cell, whereas Leeuwenhoek observed living organisms that found in pond water. In 1831, Robert Brown, he discovered nucleus inside the cell. So, he noted small dense centers in the cell and he called it as nucleus. In 1839, Purkinje coined the term protoplasm for the fluid substance of the cell. Children, you know what is protoplasm? Yeah, together cytoplasm and plasma membrane together called protoplasm. And cell theory was coined by two important biologists, Schleiden and Schwann. Matthias Schleiden postulates that all the plants are made up of cells, whereas Theodor Schwann explains that all animals are made up of cells. But in 1855, Rudolf Virchow, he modified and he expanded the cell theory by suggesting that the cells arising from pre-existing cells. So these are the contributions from different scientists. Schleiden, all plants are made up of cells, whereas Schwann explained all animals are made up of cells. Rudolf Virchow explains that all cells came from pre-existing cell. They postulate cell theory. So these are the main postulates of cell theory. All living things are made up of cells. The cell is structural and functional unit of cell, and all cells come from pre-existing cells by division. Okay. We know that cell derived from a Latin word cellula, which means little room. Plant and animal cells are too small and visible under microscope. Children, you just recollect your memories. I know you got a lot of chances to visit our biology laboratory, isn't it? So in lower classes, we done experiments on onion peel. And I know you all observed cells through microscope. In 1940, the discovery of electronic microscope happened, and it was possible to observe and understand the complex structure of the cell and its various organelles. So this is a microscopic view of onion peel. You just recollect your memories, children. So I will show you a diagrammatic representation of onion peel. So being plant cell, it consists of cell wall followed by cell membrane, cytoplasm will be there, and centrally located nucleus. Clear? You know that organisms are classified into two on the basis of number of cells in their body as unicellular organisms and multicellular organisms. What do you mean by unicellular organism? Yes, they are having only one cell in their body. I will show you some examples. This is amoeba, this is chlamydomonas, this is paramecium. They are having only single cell in their body, and all the life processes are done within the single cell. Okay? Whereas multicellular organism, they possess lot of more than one cells in their body, and division of labor or division of duties are carried out by different tissues or organs or organ systems. Okay, so the kingdom fungi, kingdom plantae, and kingdom animalia, all the members are coming under the category of multicellular organisms. So in this table we can see different characteristics of both unicellular and multicellular organisms. Unicellular organisms possess single cell, whereas multicellular organisms have large number of cells. All the functions are performed by the single cell in unicellular organism, but in multicellular organisms, different cells perform different specific functions. Division of labor not performed by different cells because it is having only single cell, and cells specified to perform different functions in multicellular organisms. Reproduction involves within the same cell in unicellular organism, but here there are specialized cells like germ cells that take part in reproduction, and lifespan is short in unicellular organism, whereas it is long in multicellular organism. This table is clear? So let me ask one question. Children, while we are considering the case of multicellular organism, is they come from a single cell? How? Yes, all the multicellular organisms are come from a single cell. You just consider our condition. We were in the form of zygote, isn't it? Continuous and successful cell divisions happened on zygote and become multi-complex Homo sapien. So what is the answer of that question? Cells divide to produce cells of their own kind, and all cells thus come from pre-existing cells. Okay. Some organism can also have cells of different kinds. I will show you one diagram. The same diagram is there in our textbook. This is RBC and WBC. That means the blood cells. This is smooth muscle cell. This is egg. This is sperm. This is bone cell, and this is fat cell. So different cells of different shape and different numbers are found in the body of a multicellular organism because the division of labor is there, isn't it? Different duties are done by different cells or different tissues or organs or organ system. But in the case of amoeba and unicellular organisms, they may show different shape, but they are having only a single cell. Especially during the time of food capture, that means phagocytosis, like movement that is exhibiting by amoeba. Okay. But in some cases, the cell shape could be more or less fixed and peculiar for a particular type of cell. For example, this is specialization of cells seen in a multi-complex organism body. Here nerve cells are there, red blood cell is there, muscle cells are there, sperms are there, bone cells are there. Okay, so different duties are assigned to different cells, and they are different in their number, their shape and size. Okay. So, different parts of human body perform different functions. Heart to pump blood, stomach to digest food, reproductive areas for the purpose of reproduction, kidneys for excretion, like that. Clear? Okay. So, in fact, we can, such cells has got certain specific components within it known as cell organelles. Each kind of cell organelle perform a specialized function such as making new material in the cell. Okay. Then, we can again classify living organisms on the basis of organization of their cellular structure. Okay. Now, we are going to discuss a new classification of organism. We are going to classify organisms on the basis of their organization of cellular structure as prokaryotes and eukaryotes. The term prokaryotes means primitive organisms. Pro means primitive, karyotes means organisms. Like that, eu means new, karyotes means organisms. Okay. Why prokaryotes are termed as primitive organism? Well, we are considering the origin of life on earth. These organisms, prokaryotes, are considered to be evolved before the origin of eukaryotes. That's why we are using the term prokaryotes or primitive organism. Clear? So, prokaryotes are unicellular organisms that do have nuclear membrane and membrane-bound organelles. So these are example bacteria, blue-green algae are examples for prokaryotes. Whereas eukaryotes are having membrane-bound organelles and nuclear membrane. The protista, the paramecium, fungi, plantae, animalia, all other members are coming under eukaryotes. Clear? And this is a structure of the prokaryotic organism. This is structure of bacteria. It is having cell wall, plasma membrane, cytoplasm, ribosome. But you can see a nucleoid in the center. There is no well-defined nuclear membrane, only nucleoid, and undefined nuclear region containing only a nucleic acid. Clear? Whereas eukaryotic cell is having plasma, is having cell wall. If it is plant cell, having cell wall, then plasma membrane, cytoplasm, and well-defined nucleus inside, and all the cell organelles. Okay, you can see mitochondria, lysosomes, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, etc. So, this chart will help you to differentiate prokaryotic cell with eukaryotic cell. Size generally small, about 1 to 10 micrometers, but in eukaryotic cells large. Nuclear mu means 10 raised to negative 6. Okay. And second point, nuclear region is not defined and known as nucleoid. But in eukaryotic cell, a well-defined nucleus is there, which is surrounded by nuclear membrane. And the third point, single chromosome is present, which is circular in outline, whereas in eukaryotic cell, more than one chromosome. In the case of Homo sapien, how many chromosomes are there, children? Yes, 23 pairs. And the last point, membrane-bound cell organelles are absent, but in eukaryotic cell, membrane-bound cell organelles are present. Clear? So, in this diagram, you can differentiate a prokaryotic cell with eukaryotic cell. Please keep it in mind, in prokaryote, there is no well-defined nucleus, instead a nucleoid is there, and no membrane-bound organelles.
Hope you all understood the topic well. Read the textbook thoroughly, okay? And I attached notes along with this video. Just study the notes and answer the questions. If any doubts are there, ask me, okay? Use this corona time effectively and efficiently. Okay, study well.